As always, this video comes with a handout with tons of exercises. This is actually the longest one I've done so far because I wanted it to be a little bit more in depth and for people to have lots of exercises to try for themselves. You can grab it from the link in the description below. You can also join my new Patreon, which will give you access to all my current and future resources, as well as some other benefits. Let's begin. Today, I want to cover a really simple concept which has been tremendously helpful for me when drawing organic/curved forms. I used to really struggle with making organic forms feel like they had form, and at least for me, they often felt flat when I tried to depict them. This didn't seem to be the case for my geometric drawings, as with geometric drawings, you can very easily see the faces, and there's a clear delineation between them thanks to straight edges. This is obviously going to be a problem for anybody who wants to move past just drawing boxes and drawing geometric forms, right? Much of what we see in real life is organic, or at least curved in some way. So how can we maintain this strong sense of perspective and form even while drawing organic forms? Putting rendering to the side for now, when it comes to linear drawing, the three things you need to worry about are perspective, silhouette, and overlap. With these three things, we can always make our forms feel like they are three-dimensional, even if they're not necessarily geometric. Even when they're just, organic forms, curved forms, we can maintain that sense of three-dimensionality. And when we introduce overlap, we're also giving the form a sense of depth as we show the different parts that are in front and behind each other. Silhouette is mainly for identifiability. Much of the things we see, we identify them through their silhouette, and oftentimes the silhouette gives us so much more information than we actually think. So what simple method do I use to draw organic forms? Well, simply put, it's just softening geometric ones. This is really effective because by simply softening down a geometric form, you get all the benefits of that geometric form, like for example, the clear perspective that it might have. And you can use that to draw organic forms that still feel grounded and not just kind of random shapes with no structure at all. Now, there's degrees to which you can do this. Obviously, you can be very, very rigid in your softening as such that, it ends up looking very similar to the actual original organic form. Or you can just go crazy with it and soften it down till it barely even resembles the original geometric form. No matter what you decide to do, make sure to use the geometric form as your scaffolding. So what you're seeing me do here is softening, whereby you use your geometric forms as a scaffolding for your organic ones. This allows your curved/organic forms to maintain this sense of form, because underneath, you're still relying on something that actually has a strong sense of perspective. It's important to remember that when you're drawing organic/curved forms, because you don't have the luxury of clear faces and edges, because we're now limited in a sense, it's important to emphasize important parts of the form as much as possible. You'll also need to de-emphasize certain parts of the form in order to make it feel three-dimensional. I do this by looking for parts of the form that occlude each other and emphasizing the overlap through line. At this point, it's a very personal taste thing that dictates how you're going to draw further lines, right? Some people will tend to leave the organic forms looking quite empty, but oftentimes you can use subtle wrapping lines because they can kind of show where a form is curving or where two planes are sort of changing angle. I like to think of subtle wrapping lines to be doing kind of the same job as a core shadow. So let's apply this to a real world example. So here I have this kind of like a boxy head model that I use. And this is pretty much what I have in mind whenever I draw any head from imagination. By the way, you can grab one of these from the link in description. Many of the people I've shown this to found this quite helpful, so I thought I'd make it available for other people. Anyway, this model is quite useful because it kind of resembles a skull, but it's a very abstract version. And it's good for anybody who's sort of comfortable with rotating more geometric forms and they want to be able to use that to their advantage. The main limitations of this model is that the face is quite flat, but it can be a great starting point for rotating the head in complex angles and then softening those down to create a much more organic head. You can then sculpt these softened features and start to bring out your own kind of unique head shapes, features, etc. A really good exercise is to use this method along with reference to help inform what decisions you make. In the examples I'm giving here, I'm trying to make it as simple as I can. So I'm not using any crazy features. Even the nose is just a shape, and the eyes are just lines. I'm trying to get you to see how simple it is to really go from this geometric boxy head to one of these forms. It really is just me softening down all the edges and the transitions between different planes of the face. When you try this, don't rush into drawing all the features and, all the detailed parts of the face like the eyes and the nose. Just focus on drawing the largest organic forms. You can always sculpt in more features when you're comfortable with that main large organic volume. This is sort of a quick introduction into this head model that I use for the sake of showing this softening method. But I'm thinking of actually doing a longer, more in-depth video on drawing the head. So if people are interested, that would be cool. And you can let me know in the comments. Now, for those who are interested in one-to-one mentorships, I am still doing those. They're great for those who like to, get more in-depth explanations about things, maybe ask more questions and, get some support through your artistic journey. If you're interested in that, you can find information about that in the description. Also, if this video benefited you, let me know in the comments. I'm always responding, so that would be great. Thanks for watching and take care.